than things like abstract objects and even concrete objects and so forth. So there are these kind of people.
So Floyd, are you here?
Come in. I think I need to turn up your volume. I can't hear you that well.
Okay, so what do you think about what is nature of God?
What do you think of the nature of God? Well, I mean, you have to define God first, which would be his nature. Then you can ask me, what do I think about that particular God, right? Yeah, if you ask me about a specific God, like the God of Christianity, I would deny that God exists.
On what grounds?
On the way he's defined, in my experience of the world.
Well, since the God of the Bible would be a universal absolute, in order to falsify the Christian God, you'd have to instantiate a universal absolute that would negate the Christian God. Can you do that?
I don't see why that's necessary.
In order to negate A, you would have to instantiate not A. Since God is a universal absolute, or ultimate, the God of the Bible, that is, you would have to establish that what is ultimate and absolute and the concrete universal that is not God in order to show that the God of the Bible doesn't exist. A, not A.
What do you mean by absolute, universal absolute? I mean, any truth is universal and absolute, right?
Insofar as it relates to God.
No. Any truth wouldn't necessarily be a universal. God, by definition, being a mind who is ultimate, absolute, and the origin of all possibility and impossibility, that would be a statement of a universal absolute. Now, if you're going to falsify God, you're going to have to present the negation of God. So what is it that is universal and absolute that is not God, that is the ground of all possibility that falsifies God? What is that?
No, I would just show. I would just need to show that specific God is falsified. I don't need to replace it with anything else.
No, if God is you understand that by definition, God would be designated and defined as being universal, ultimate, and absolute. Do you understand that by definition?
No.
Yes, by definition, it is. God being defined as God defined as
the Bible is defined as a God.
The God of the Bible
with a dome over it. So if the Earth is not flat with a dome over it,
Floyd, we're talking about God.
By deduction, we know that God doesn't exist.
Yeah. Okay. So Floyd, you're not following me. Okay. So when we talk about the God of the Bible, we're talking about that God is the creator. It's called the creator-creature distinction. I'm sure you're familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's the biblical position. Now, in the creator-creator distinction, the God of the Bible is ultimate and absolute by definition. Okay? Are we clear?
No.
Okay. In the biblical view, God is defined as what is eternal and ultimate. He is the source of all possibility and impossibility, definitionally.
Okay, he's a source of all contingent things.
Yeah, of all possibility and impossibility. Now,
how can you be the source of impossibility?
He defines what's possible and impossible.
He defines it. So,
yeah, because it's the creator-creature distinction. Now, this is a no-brainer. Now, in order for you to falsify the God of the Bible, you're going to need to know what is then, therefore, ultimate and absolute as a negator to the God of the Bible being an ultimate and absolute. A, not A. How do you falsify A? Is it by instantiating not A, Floyd?
No, we look at the claims about that particular God, and if those
No,
claims
you're
are
not.
false,
You're not addressing my last question. How do you falsify? A?
Those are irrelevant. Those are
Floyd, how do you falsify A? Is it by presenting not A?
Yeah, but there's more than
Okay,
just
so-
there's
okay,
just
okay, so-
you know, your guy's
so
a
when we-
monolith. He has different
Okay,
characteristics.
so when we falsify A, you have to present not A. Is that correct?
I need to present not A.
Floyd, this is not very
Yes.
complicated. You're only
Yes. So I can present not A because
Okay, good. Now,
the God of
I
the
want you to-
Bible is defined as a God that created a flat Earth 6,000 years ago with a solid
there are
form
no-
over it. Since
Okay, there are no-
since that doesn't exist, we have not A.
There are no. Could you show me any professional theologian who says the Bible teaches a flat Earth?
Oh yeah, Michael Heiser, University of
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
can you? He's a theologian.
He's a Bible scholar.
Okay, can you provide me with a link where he says, as a Bible scholar, the Bible teaches a flat Earth? Because I've been studying
Sure.
the Bible for 40 years. I've never talked with any other true Christian who believes the Bible teaches that it's a flat Earth.
Oh, sure. Just go on YouTube. Just go on YouTube.
First of all, are all conclusions? Who else is talking in here? Hey, Floyd, are all conclusions?
So I presented a not A, so therefore I falsified.
Floyd, are all empirical conclusions provisional?
They're limited to our.
Okay, Floyd, are all empirical conclusions provisional? Okay,
Yes.
so you're using a provisional conclusion to falsify the God of the Bible?
Your Bible is progressive revelation.
Floyd, are you using a provisional conclusion to falsify the God of the Bible?
Yeah, I'm fallible. That's all I have. That's all I have.
Okay. So probable, then it doesn't necessitate the falsity of the God of the Bible because it's provisional. So are you using a provisional conclusion? Please don't overtalk me.
No. You have a provisional view of your interpretation of God. No. I'm talking.
Overtalk me. Floyd, please do not overtalk me.
Floyd,
please do not.
No, don't overtalk me, boy. Boy, quiet.
See, you're playing right into my game.
No, I'm not. I don't listen to you. I'm not your bitch.
As I predicted, this is what the tactic that you would employ on questioning.
No.
Now, I'd like to know the following question.
No, you're to answer my question. You understand? You address me as sir when you talk to me. You understand?
Now, do you see the tactic?
Are you going to address me as sir? Are you going to address me as sir, boy?
Does everybody see the tactic? By the way, I'm recording this.
I don't give a shit.
I know you don't.
Is your knowledge of God provisional to your limited, fallible nature? Yes or no?
No.
So you're infallible.
I answered your question. I answered your question. Now, are you using a provisional conclusion to falsify?
I already answered that. I already answered that.
Well, is it a yes?
Yes, I said we're all limited, so everything's provisional until further information comes out.
So the provisional conclusion is not necessarily true then?
Sometime in the future, some new knowledge comes about, then that would change my view.
Your provisional conclusion that you're using to falsify the God of the Bible, is it necessarily true, or could it possibly be false?
It could be possibly false with new information.
So you haven't falsified the God of the Bible then?
With our current information about that, yes, we have. And our current knowledge.
No. If it's provisional, it's not necessarily true then, correct?
It's not necessarily true that the Bible's correct about the creator of the universe.
Well, you're shifting the goalpost. Now, your provisional conclusion is your provisional. Does your falsification, when you falsify the God of the Bible, is the falsification of the God of the Bible necessarily true that the God of the Bible is false?
It would be necessarily true based on my current knowledge, yes.
Okay. No, I asked you, is your falsification of the God of the Bible necessarily true?
based on my current knowledge and assumptions. Yeah.
Yeah, you're repeating the same thing that you had. Why do you think I asked the question again?
You're asking me to step outside my worldview.
Please don't.
No, I'm answering your question.
Please don't overtalk me.
No, you're overtalking
me.
No, please don't overtalk me.
Actually, I was talking when you cut me off, Floyd.
No, you cut me off.
Floyd, this is a tactic that you have employed many times, especially on Google Plus. Do you recall when you did that on Google Plus several times?
No, I don't. I recall you being very rude. You don't interrupting people.
Well, I actually have the recordings of you cutting me off on Google Plus. Now,
I have like 3 recordings of you on my YouTube channel. I know you do, okay, because you're shameless. Now, is your knowledge that you use to falsify the God of the Bible, is your knowledge base necessarily true? Yes, if it is knowledge, it's necessarily true, yes.
Your knowledge is necessarily true?
Yes.
Okay. So what is it that you believe that is necessarily true and cannot be false?
No, he asked me if my knowledge was necessarily true. Yes, all knowledge is necessarily true.
You're changing the subject.
No,
you're changing the subject.
No, I'm answering your question.
No, you're not. You're responding.
Yes, I am. You asked me.
You're being argumentative.
No. You asked me.
I just want you to understand that I'm recording this, Floyd. Okay?
You said that several times. You asked me if my knowledge was necessarily true, and I answered yes. Correct? Is that correct?
What do you know that's necessarily true?
I'm going to ask you again. You asked me if my knowledge was necessarily true. Is that correct?
Did you need me to repeat the question?
I'm asking.
Or do you want to do your little shtick being argumentative to avoid my question?
No. You're being rude. You're being rude.
No, actually, be patient.
No. If I have knowledge, is that knowledge necessarily true? Yes or no? Okay. Answer the question.
I don't believe from your frame of reference you can instantiate that knowledge is possible. Now, Floyd,
but if I have knowledge,
Floyd, I was speaking. Floyd, I was speaking.
If I have knowledge, is it necessarily true?
Please do not overspeak.
No, you answer my question.
I just did answer your question.
No, you didn't. Answer it again. If I have knowledge, is it necessarily true? Yes or no?
I don't believe that if is a possibility in your frame of reference. Now, that's the second time I've answered.
Well, that's your view, and I disagree. Because in my worldview, I can have knowledge. Now, in your worldview, I don't see how you can have knowledge at all.
Now, can you tell me, is there anything that you believe that is necessarily true in your world?
Oh, yes. All of the things I believe are knowledge would be necessarily true.
No, that's not an answer to the question. That was
it's based on my worldview, right?
No, Floyd, you're not answering the question.
Yeah, no, you're asking me to make conclusions in reasoning without accepting my metaphysical assumptions.
Floyd, you didn't answer the question.
Which would not be possible.
Floyd, you didn't answer the question.
Yes, I did. I did answer the question.
Okay, Floyd, is there any belief that you have that is necessarily true?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, those that are actual knowledge.
No, I'm asking you to be specific. What singular belief that you have what singular belief at all is necessarily true and cannot possibly be false?
Oh, I'm sitting in a chair right now.
Okay, why can that not be false?
Oh, because it's a reliably true belief.
No, you're repeating the same claim in different words. How is that belief necessarily true and that it cannot possibly be false?
Any knowledge belief is necessarily true. I already explained that to you.
No, you're not. Again, you're not. You're just being verbose. You're truly not answering the question.
I am answering.
How is that belief that you're sitting in a chair that it can't possibly be false?
Based on my worldview, right?
Okay, what is your worldview? Does your worldview have an ultimacy that institutes what's possible and impossible?
Yeah, sure. Yes, of course.
What is that?
Oh, that would be the reality we live in.
No, okay, so what you're saying, when you say, see, this is a common mistake that unbelievers make.
No, the mistake you're making
May I finish,
and the double
please?
standard.
I wasn't finished. Okay, I wasn't finished. Please don't overtalk me.
Yeah, now, you please don't interrupt
now,
me.
When you say, well, actually, I haven't been. I've been actually quite respectful and courteous.
No, you're not respectful at all.
Now, Floyd, when you say that reality is the ultimacy of reality, the ultimacy of what institutes what's possible and impossible, when you say reality, is that a concrete one or an abstract one?
It has both, in my worldview. There's abstraction.
Reality.
There's concrete things and there's abstract things.
Is when you say reality, is reality a concrete one where there are not actual discrete particulars, or is reality a collection of concrete particulars?
Well, we seem to experience both.
No, I'm asking you, when you say reality, that answer, either it was evasive or you truly didn't understand the simple question. When you say reality is ultimate, I'm speaking. You're over-talking me again. Please don't
no.
Please do not overtalk me, Floyd. Okay. Now, when you say that your worldview is what dictates what's possible, and I say, what is it that's ultimate? And you say reality, right? What I want to know is, when you use the word reality, does that refer to something that reality is just one thing, or is reality a set of particulars?
Well, we seem to have a phenomenon of both. You're asking about the problem with the one.
No, you're not understanding here. Okay.
No, reality
either reality is it. Do you know the difference between concrete and abstract?
Yeah, concrete is like a
reality.
Thing.
Reality, yeah. if
and
reality
abstraction is like relationship and stuff. And so,
hey, Floyd, listen.
No, you're interrupting me.
By you.
No, you're interrupting me.
Yeah, Floyd, why are you so agitated?
Because you're interrupting me.
No, the whole time I've been speaking with you, you've been quite on edge.
Well, no. I answer a question and I try to clarify it, and you just interrupt me and go on the next question.
So you're not agitated right now?
Did I answer that? You asked me why I agitated, and I told you why.
Floyd, is reality a concrete one or not a concrete one?
And I already answered that. There's certainly I experienced particulars, and there seems to be some sort of commonality between those.
It's not an answer. That was not germane to the question. Is reality?
Well, no. I'm sorry that you're not satisfied by answering your question.
Floyd, you're over talking me again.
No. I answered your question.
Actually, you responded, but you didn't actually answer the question.
Well, no, I just didn't find an answer that you're looking for.
I'll have to repeat the question.
No, I already answered that, so you're gonna have to move on.
Floyd, is reality a concrete one or not?
I already answered that multiple times.
Your answer was not clear.
No, I answered that multiple times.
Now, I just want you to know that you're actually falling for the trap that I set for you.
No, I already answered you multiple times.
Okay.
So
it's not clear to me. It's not clear to me. No. Is reality a concrete one or not a concrete one?
How do you know that? I think that's a false. It's a false dichotomy.
If I say something is A or not A, is that a false dichotomy?
No. Okay,
so all I did was I plugged in the value of A and I put in the word reality. So it's not a false dichotomy for you.
You're asking me what reality is.
Okay, Floyd, if I say to you, is reality a concrete one or not a concrete one, that's not a false dichotomy. All I've done is I plugged in a value for the letter A. In A, something is either A or not A. So it's not a false dichotomy, Floyd.
You're asking about what the nature of A. I'm not denying A. I'm not saying A and not A.
Okay, Floyd,
you're asking me the characteristics, the nature of A, which is a totally different question.
Floyd, is reality
which you can't seem to understand.
Floyd, is I'm still waiting for a clear answer. Is reality a concrete one or not a concrete one?
You're asking me about the nature of reality, and I don't have a full picture of that.
I didn't ask you that question. I said,
yes, you did.
Reality a concrete one or not a concrete one?
So you're asking me about the nature of reality, correct? By asking me if it's concrete or not, what it consists of, and so forth.
Floyd, can you repeat back to me the question I asked you?
You're asking me if reality is a concrete one or not.
That's right. Can you answer that, please?
Right, which is you're asking me about the nature of reality.
Okay, so do you know what the nature?
The different characteristics.
Do you know what the nature of the ultimacy is?
Again, what is more ultimate than reality itself?
Okay, again, you're dodging, Floyd.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, Floyd, is reality a concrete one or not? Okay.
Now, how do you substantiate that the God of the Bible is the creator of all contingent things?
Floyd.
No, Darth.
I'm recording this.
I've answered a bunch of your questions. Are you going to answer my question now, Darth?
Floyd.
No, don't interrupt me, Darth. Darth, are you going to answer my questions? I answered your question. Now, are you going to answer my questions?
I would still like you to answer the question.
You asked me. You asked me if there is
Does everyone see
that how Darth only wants to ask questions? He doesn't want to answer my questions.
You're dodging the question because you cannot answer it.
Floyd, I deliberately listen to me. The reason why I decided to talk with you because I wanted to get on record how utterly argumentative and evasive you are, and you fell for the trap.
I've tried to answer your questions. I answered multiple times, and I've shown that you won't answer my questions.
Floyd, is reality a concrete one or not? Floyd, is reality a concrete one?
And I already answered that multiple times that you're asking me about the nature of reality, and I don't have a full picture of the nature of reality. So you have to move on.
So if you don't have so you do not have a full understanding of reality, then?
Does anyone?
Okay, since you
can you explain to me quantum physics to me?
Since you've now explained to me you don't know what the full nature of reality is, how can you say then that reality is ultimate then?
What could be more ultimate than reality?
That's a question, not an answer.
That's not an answer.
Floyd, you just told me.
It has to be whatever is ultimate would be part of reality. Therefore,
Floyd, you just told me and everyone in the room you don't have a full understanding of the nature of reality. Then if you don't have a full understanding of the nature of reality, is there an area of reality that could be derivative?
Hey, Darth.
That whatever be derivative would be part of reality.
Floyd, you don't have a full grasp of understanding of reality. Is that correct?
No, I don't.
Okay. Could the areas that you are unfamiliar with indicate that reality is derivative?
What do you mean by derivative?
It means that it is not self-contained, absolute, and ultimate.
That would be part of reality. Anything derivative of my conception of reality would be part of reality. So that could not be the case.
If you don't have a full understanding of what reality is,
that's an epistemic issue, not an ontological issue.
Floyd, you're just digging a deeper grave for yourself.
No, I'm not. Do you have a full picture of reality? Can you explain the inner workings of a black hole to me, Darth?
Floyd.
Darth, can you explain about the inner workings of a black hole?
Stop dodging this question.
I couldn't. Now, Floyd, Darth,
can you explain to me the ultimate reality that resides within a black hole?
Yeah, you're just being belligerent on purpose.
Well, this is exactly what he did several years ago on Google Plus. He did,
and how you acted several years ago is how you act now.
Floyd,
you ask questions, but you won't answer any other questions that someone else.
You're the one dodging this question.
Okay. You see, you were the one talking about that you could falsify. I was listening, Floyd. Okay,
right,
Floyd.
Right. There's
I was sitting here quiet. Floyd, please don't over talk.
No.
What he's attempting to do is he's attempting to be obnoxious until he gets server muted, and then he will rage quit. Okay, this is what he's doing.
Are you going to answer my questions, Darth? Yes or no?
Okay, I will be.
Darth, are you going to answer my questions now? Yes or no?
I will be.
Are you going to yes or no?
I just
answer my question.
I'll be more than happy to answer your questions, but I want to know.
Okay, now,
since you know,
now answer my
I'm
question.
speaking.
No, I'm speaking.
Yeah,
now.
he's doing this. He's doing this on purpose.
Of course, he is.
After he's gonna rage quit, because you're gonna destroy him.
Frenchie, please be quiet. Okay.
No.
Now, this is Floyd's MO. This is what he does.
No, I've answered your questions enough. I've answered your. Are you going to answer my questions now, Darth?
Actually, you haven't. You stated that reality.
Yes, I did. I answered it multiple times.
Now, but if you don't have a full understanding,
to have this view that you have to have a full understanding
since you don't. Okay, when you say reality, is that the sum total of all things that exist?
Yes,
okay. Now, how are you able to have a grasp of everything that exists?
I already answered that, didn't I?
Did you use your sense perception?
Of course.
So
and my reasoning capacities, which are limited and fallible. I've answered that multiple times.
Okay, so when you make a pronouncement that reality is ultimate, could that possibly be wrong?
No, it can't be.
Okay, so how did you determine?
It's an analytic. It's an analytic truth.
So
you asked me how I determine that.
When you talk about reality, is that a set of discrete particulars?
There are particulars within reality which I experience.
No. I'm talking about reality. Is reality an abstraction, which is the set of concrete, discrete particulars?
It certainly composes those things, but again, you're asking me what
is reality? I want to know
the nature of reality.
Is reality the set of all particulars?
Is reality the set of all particulars? It would yes, it would certainly include that. Yeah.
Now, is there?
It would not exclude that.
Okay, is there something outside of all particulars?
Perhaps there could be.
No, well, you don't. So you don't know whether whether reality is all that is, or reality is a subset of all that exists.
I mean, there's a debate between philosophers about.
No, I'm asking you, Floyd. I want to know, is reality the set?
I don't have a full picture of that. I mean, there's Platonism, there's nominalism, there's moderate realism.
Floyd, when you say reality,
there's different aspects, and
when you say reality is what falsifies the God of the Bible, right? I want to know, is when you say the word reality, is that a token?
No, we can look at elements.
Floyd, I'm speaking.
No, I'm answering your question.
Floyd, I wasn't done.
You're straw manning me.
Floyd, is reality. See,
now, Darth,
I just want to let you know.
Criteria.
Because I want to be fair. He's not even able to come.
Because I want to be fair to you. Okay.
No, you're not being fair to me at all.
I'm actually letting you know.
Now, will you accept my criteria of how to falsify a particular being? If you identify
in order to falsify anything, you would have to know what is ultimately truth that all other beliefs that are derived upon. Do you accept or reject that?
No, you just have to have particular truth. You just have to have particular beliefs that are actually true.
No, Floyd, do you need me to repeat the question, because that was not an answer to my question?
You're saying I need to know all facts. You need not to be all.
Well, you need to listen a little bit more carefully, okay?
When you answer my question, are you saying I need to be all-knowing?
I'll repeat the question.
Answer my question. Are you saying I need to be all-knowing?
In order to falsify, Floyd, you're continuing to embarrass yourself, because this is.
Please answer my question.
Okay, Floyd.
Dorothy, you're an embarrassment.
I'm attempting to respond to you.
Answer my question, yes or no, directly. Are you claiming? No. Darth, are you claiming that one
Floyd,
has to be all-knowing to be able to falsify anything?
I'm actually enjoying that you're doing this.
I don't give a shit. Will you answer my question? Are you going to answer my question?
Because it's exposing you, Floyd.
No, you've been exposed more than enough.
Okay,
it's clear
so
that you're not willing to answer my question. Now, are you willing to answer my question?
Floyd, all you're simply being is
Darth, are you claiming that you have to be all-knowing to falsify anything? Darth, are you saying that you have to be all-knowing to falsify anything?
We would either have to be omniscient, or we would have to be on the receiving end of one who was omniscient, absolute, and ultimate, who could make us to know some things that we couldn't be wrong about. Now, I answered your question. Now, Floyd, do you have a complete understanding as to what is ultimate?
No.
Then how do you know that how shall I put this? Because I don't think you're really understanding the predicament here. Okay, so when you say reality is ultimate, is reality a set?
Again, you're asking me of full nature reality, and I answered I don't know that.
No. Is reality...
reality itself has to be ultimate, because if there's anything that...
You understand the difference. Since you claim to have studied a little bit of philosophy, do you understand the difference between a concrete one and an abstract one?
No, why don't you explain it to me?
You don't understand that?
I mean, there's certainly concretes.
No. Do you understand the difference between a concrete one versus an abstract one?
No, I don't.
Really?
Not
this is a very basic concept in philosophy.
Well, then please explain it to me.
If something is a concrete one, it's indivisible. Okay. Whereas if something is an abstract one, it is two or more things that are referenced as an abstract one. Okay? Now, when you say reality, what I want to know, is it one thing only?
You're saying like a platonic form.
May I finish?
I'm asking you a question.
Reality, Floyd, when you say that reality...
I'm asking you a question. I'm confused
Floyd,
about what
I'd
you
like
said.
to finish.
I'm confused
I'm
about...
actually
how can I answer your question?
Your responses.
How can I answer your question if I still don't understand?
A concrete one is one where there is not a actual concrete plurality. There's only one concrete thing. It is not divisible. Okay. Now, suppose we had an abstract one. Okay.
Can you give me an example?
Where somebody could say the universe. The universe would be an unimaginable number of particulars that are referred abstractly as one, and we call it the universe. Okay.
Right.
Now, that's an example of an abstract one. Right. Now, when you say reality is ultimate, and you're going to use that to falsify the God of the Bible, I want to know, is reality that you say is ultimate, that is the source of all possibility, is it a concrete one where it is indivisible, and it does not have any discrete, independent particulars, or is it an abstract one, which is a set of divisible particulars?
Yo.
I would have to think about that, but yeah, if it would be if it's a set of all particulars, then it would be an abstract one, right? But there's certainly concrete ones within it.
Okay, is reality that you state is ultimate, that's the source of all possibility and impossibility, is reality a concrete one, or is it an abstract one?
I already answered that. It sounds like it would be abstract the way you're explaining it.
Okay. So
if I understand you correctly.
So your position is reality being ultimate is an abstract one. It is the set of all particulars. Right? Is that your position?
Yeah. All particulars would have to exist within reality.
Okay. Is there anything other than the mental abstraction that is the concrete unifier?
You said mental abstraction.
Okay. other than a mental abstraction unifying all the particulars in your mind, is there anything that concretely institutes and secures the particulars, or do each of the particulars exist in and of themselves from eternity?
I mean, there certainly could be something that unifies.
I didn't ask you what it could be. I said, do all of the individual particulars that's in the abstract one of reality that you say is ultimate, are each of the particulars eternal and absolute within themselves and self-contained and non-derivative?
No, there's a lot of contingent. There's a lot of contingent.
Then you've made a major philosophical faux pas here. Okay.
Oh, really? How so?
Because then you couldn't have a plurality of particulars that are ultimate. Because in order to be ultimate, you would have to be truly independent, and all other things would have to be dependent upon the ultimate. So you couldn't have two or more things. Let me finish. To be ultimate, as you agreed in the beginning of the conversation, to be ultimate is to be the source of all possibility. Okay? So if we had two or more particulars, right, you might believe that each particular is eternal and self-contained.
I never said that.
But okay, what I want to know is, are each of the particulars
you have particulars
reality, are each of the particulars in the set of reality, as you have said it, are they each eternal, absolute, and self-contained and non-derivative?
No.
Okay. Which of the particulars then are eternal then? Because you have a problem here. Because if you say that
if there are two apples, okay, there's two apples.
You're not understanding. You're not understanding.
You're asking about particulars, right?
Floyd, when you say reality is ultimate, are each of the particulars ultimate? Because if any of the particulars are not ultimate, why are they included in the category of ultimate then? Particulars exist within ultimate reality. No, Floyd, you're not understanding. Okay, are all of the particulars that are in the abstract set that you refer to as reality, are each of the particulars ultimate in that they are eternal and are the source and basis of all possibility and impossibility? No. Okay. What then within reality is the source of all possibility then? It would contingent things would come from that which is necessary. Okay. What is it that is ultimate, that is the source of those particulars within the set of reality? What is it then that is ultimate within the set of reality? Because you said reality was ultimate. I didn't. You said before you said set of particulars. I don't think you're understanding. Set of reality. You just changed your terminology. I don't think you're truly understanding this. Okay. Yeah, but perhaps I'm not. But you said when you say reality, Floyd, why don't you take a breath for a second? Well, no. You said does the set of particulars exist within reality? Do you think you're making yourself look good, Floyd? Yes, because I'm trying to explain back to you what you said to me. I don't need your commentary. I don't need your commentary, Darth. You're embarrassing. No, you're embarrassing yourself. Now you asked me if set of particulars exist within reality. I answered yes, of course. Why are all the members of reality? Okay, are all the members of reality? What does that mean? Floyd, before you said all the members of particulars. Does everybody see? Everybody see. Now you're changing it to all the members of reality. What does it mean to all the members of reality? Does everybody see the tactic that he's employing here? It's called to be belligerent, not just an argument.
I'm pointing out that you're changing terms.
Floyd, I'm trying every time I speak, you're cutting me off.
No,
you're trying to derail what I'm saying. Now,
I'm not.
Floyd, would you please let me finish?
No, I'm not going to let you finish. Going on and on about.
I'm not going on and on. I'm trying to have a Q&A with you, Floyd.
Well, now, all right. Floyd, well, you're going to answer my questions. Are you going to answer my question?
I did answer it. See,
you keep on going back. Now, to falsify your God, is
Floyd,
the way.
I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked.
No, you can answer the question. To falsify God. Can I show that if the characteristics and description of your God contradicts what we find in reality, then your God's falsified? Is that a sufficient falsification criteria for you? Yes or no?
That was not very coherently presented. You want to try again?
Okay, sure. If your God is described as a God doing particular things, your God, for example, participates in history, for example. Okay, if we can demonstrate that the description and claims about that God as participating in history is false, because that is false history, then we have falsified your God, right? For example, let's say you
don't have to give me an example. I understand your point, but there's a problem with what you're saying. Okay. Is because what will be the ultimate ontological grounds to falsify anything?
Reality.
Okay, now here's the problem, right? Is because what is it in that reality is, see, we're coming back full circle again. Now, is reality, is there anything that concretely unifies the particulars, or are the particulars unified abstractly?
Well, we would analyze it within your worldview, right? We would do an internal critique. So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant of what my worldview is.
Floyd, you need to focus on my question.
No, we would take your metaphysical assumptions.
Floyd, I want to know. See, in order for you,
you're not answering the question.
Either you're truly not understanding it, or you're being diversionary. Listen carefully.
I'm saying
you're using
I'm saying irrelevant. So it doesn't matter what my metaphysical assumptions are.
You're using
your metaphysical assumptions, and then evaluate your worldview within.
Floyd, you're not fooling it. Floyd, you're not fooling anybody.
No, I'm not trying to fool anyone. I'm explaining what it would take to falsify your worldview.
He's doing this because he's scared.
Being a motor mouth.
He's doing this because he's scared.
I know he is.
I'm explaining you what it would take to falsify your worldview. So
Floyd, listen to
look at your metaphysical assumptions and see where they lead.
Floyd, you ever shut up for 1 minute? You see, this is what you do. You just
I listen to you more than
Floyd, enough. How can you falsify anything when you don't know? You told me you don't have a complete understanding of reality, didn't you?
I don't need to do that. I can borrow the presuppositions of your
Floyd, listen.
You're asking me questions. How can I do it? And I'm showing you how.
Floyd, this whole time from beginning to end, okay? And I defy anyone who listens to this when this goes up to YouTube. From beginning to end, you have been nonstop over talking me.
No, you're not willing to answer my question.
Floyd,
you're asking me a question about how
you have not been nonstop over talking me. Do you deny that, Floyd? Let's see if he lies to the entire YouTube audience.
Floyd,
I've been talking over you because you're not willing, but you've been over talking me.
Hey, Floyd.
No.
Floyd, have you been chronically over talking me this entire time?
I've been over talking at times when you won't let me clarify my question, my answer, and then you were not answering my questions, and you've been over talking me as well.
That's a lie, Floyd. Listen, Floyd.
No.
You
listen, Darth. You listen, Darth. Now, Darth,
You see what
would you agree
is?
with Cornelius Van
You're acting like a
It's
child.
okay. He
Floyd.
fell for my
You're
trap.
acting like a child.
He fell for my trap.
You're acting like a child.
No, you fell my trap. You bring up the problem, the one in many. I know all about it, and you wouldn't answer my questions.
I didn't bring up the one of the many, Floyd.
So do you agree with Cornelius Van Til?
He cannot even take. He doesn't know how to interact like an adult because he's so afraid. He's afraid of my questioning.
No,
are you afraid of my questions?
I've taken time and answered your questions long enough.
No, I haven't even finished my line of questioning, Floyd.
You keep on going on, and you change.
I
think I have enough of you, Darth.
You can run away
or not?
I will be glad to answer that.
No, are you going to answer my questions right now? Yes or no?
Floyd.
No, Darth. Are you going to answer my questions right now? Yes or no?
Can you
answer yes or no?
Floyd, are you?
No, Darth. Are you going to answer my questions right now? Yes or no?
You're acting like a child, dude.
Floyd, you said you're using reality to falsify the Christian God. Do you have a complete understanding of reality, Floyd?
No, to falsify the Christian God, I can take.
That's not an answer to my question. That's not my question.
No,
can you repeat to me the question I just asked you?
Yes, you're saying that I need to, if I have a full view of reality, to falsify your God.
I said, do you have a complete understanding of reality?
And I already answered that multiple times. But to falsify your God, I don't
Floyd,
need in my world.
Do you have a complete understanding?
And I already answered that. I don't need to have a complete understanding to perform an internal critique in your worldview. Darth, I already answered that.
You see how fearful he
is? Where he won't move on after I answer the question.
I knew this would happen. That's why I'm recording it, and that's why this is going up onto YouTube.
Very disrespectful.
Floyd, I haven't finished my question.
You're
I have a simple question.
I already answered the question.
Do you have a complete understanding of reality?
I already answered that multiple times. I answered no.
And the answer was what? No. Okay. So could there be a new fact that could appear tomorrow at any time, any place, that could displace any other facts that you believe?
Sure. I mean, that's a possibility.
Okay. So in other words, since you don't know everything, you don't have a complete understanding of the set of all particulars reality, then a new fact could appear that could displace any of the previous facts that you think are true. Is that possible?
There could be a major paradigm shift in my worldview, but I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. So what you are saying is that any new fact could appear, therefore displacing your belief of any other fact that you hold to.
That's certainly a possibility, but I evaluate facts within my worldview.
So therefore, here's the problem.
My metaphysical assumptions.
Here's the problem.
No.
I want to finish, Floyd. Please don't interrupt me. Okay? You have now admitted to everyone in the room and to the YouTube audience that it is possible that a new fact could appear in any time in the future that could displace any other fact that you believe in. Okay? That's your position, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, then that means is that the collection of facts that you do have, that you do believe that you have, then they would be provisional in nature, and none of them would be set in concrete or necessarily true, right?
If they were not knowledge, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm saying is, do you know that any of the facts that you hold to are necessarily true, and that no new fact could dislodge any other fact that you believe?
Ones that I evaluate from with my worldview, I can only assume so.
Okay. So then you don't know any fact to be necessarily true, and whatever facts that you do believe could potentially be dislodged by a new fact coming along, right?
But I can only reason. Yes, but I can only reason within
Okay,
the presuppositions of my worldview.
So then, all of the facts that you do believe, there is the possibility that they could be false.
No,
Is it possible?
Not outside the metaphysical assumptions.
Floyd, you're not understanding what you previously conceded to. You just told me a minute ago. Please don't overtalk me.
Well, I'm bringing up the problem.
I don't want to have to turn down your microphone. I was speaking. Okay?
No. Well, let me clarify.
Floyd, I'll just keep on talking. Okay. I'll just turn your microphone.
Then I'll keep on talking.
Okay. I'm going to turn you down.
This is absolutely.
See what you're denying. You're denying my worldview. You're denying that you're not willing to let me have my physical assumptions, which is unreasonable.
Stop over talking me.
Darth, I'm not going to let you deny that I cannot reason from my metaphysical assumptions.
A fact, any new fact could appear tomorrow and displace any other fact you believe. Or is there one fact that you hold to in your worldview right now that no new fact could displace?
I reason from my metaphysical assumptions. So right now, I don't think anything could displace my metaphysical assumptions.
But you said assumptions, though. That doesn't mean they're...
No, but those... What I'm saying is there any fact that you hold in your mind that could never be falsified by a new observation tomorrow?
Not within the metaphysical assumptions of my worldview.
Okay, so then
so what you're doing here, so let me explain. So what you're doing here is you're asking me to reason without my metaphysical assumptions, which I didn't ask you to. Yes. That's what you're inferring. Yes.
No, I'm not.
So what you're denying, you're not willing to do.
I'm not denying or inferring anything, Floyd.
Yeah. So within the metaphysical.
Floyd, do you know how to have an adult interaction?
Yes, and I'll explain you. I can only reason within the metaphysical.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that you have been conducting yourself as a cordial adult during the entire interaction?
No, I have not been, because you've been very rude and arrogant. So
I haven't been rude.
Oh yes, I think you've been very rude and arrogant. Like historically, everyone knows you have been, because you constantly ask questions. You ask questions without letting the person reason from within their metaphysical assumptions, where you have to make them question them.
Okay, all right. Let's make this clear here. Okay.
So let's go back to the main topic. So how we falsify your God.
Okay.
So would you agree that to falsify your God, we can look?
This is not Floyd. This is not a community college lecture. Okay?
No.
What you're doing is called running the clock out.
No.
Then I'm going to speak now. Floyd, I don't want the mods to have to step in and server mute you when you overtalk.
I don't care if they server mute me. Then the conversation's over, and that's fine.
Of course, that's the way you play the game.
So we're going to go back and we're going to evaluate your worldview and to falsify. So we're going to falsify your God by looking within your worldview. Darth, are we going to evaluate your God or not by looking
This is what he's doing. He's being obnoxious till he gets server muted, and then he can rage quit.
No, you keep on interrupting me. So do you agree that the way we can falsify your God?
I will wait till you're done. Okay, you tell me when you're done.
Such a deceptive. You're such a deceptive and uncharitable person.
It's not even deception. Because it's obvious to the atheists who are watching, who will be watching this, of what the tactic is. It's not even deceptive.
No.
So Floyd, you tell me when you're done. Then I'm going to resume with my question about how you falsify the Christian worldview. You tell me when you're done.
Well, are you going to respond and answer my questions after I'm done?
Are you done?
No, I'm asking you a question. Are you just going to ignore what I say and then just keep on asking me more questions and just ignore what I say?
No, I'm not going to ignore what you're saying, but I'm not going to be fooled by you trying to segue onto semi-related rabbit trails, which is a tactic that you.
No, that's what you've been doing all along.
Floyd,
That's what you've been doing all along. We started talking about how to falsify your God, and then you started bringing up the one with the one and the many.
Floyd, from now on, the rules are as follows.
No, you're not going to dictate the rules to me.
From now on,
you're not going to dictate the rules to me.
Floyd, listen to me carefully.
No, you listen to me carefully.
Moderators of the room.
They can do what they want. Are you a moderator of the room?
Okay, Floyd, from now on, whoever is speaking, you're not going to dictate.
No, you're not going to dictate.
No, the mods. You're
not going to dictate any rules to me.
Floyd, I'm not dictating.
Okay, well, I'll give you what you want. I'll leave now.
Floyd,
I'll rage quit so you can feel good about yourself.
Right, and I'm glad that you went. Right. You went for the trap. You can flee now.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah, this just shows you. This is the only.
This shows you that you're not willing to cooperate. You're not willing
with the mods from now on. And he fled. Okay. Now, did everybody see?
Oh my God!
This is a guy. Okay. This is a guy who intellectually and philosophically he thinks he has prowess. Okay. He actually thinks that he has skill. Please do not overtalk. No, okay. Now, this guy fell right for my bait. I've been recording it the whole time. This is what he does when he gets cornered. Okay, he becomes belligerent, obnoxious, and he tries to derail the Q&A by peppering his opponent with semi-related questions as diversionary tactics. Okay. That's Floyd FP for you folks. And for those of you who are watching, and this is going to go up on YouTube, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, this is how much confidence Floyd has in his own intellectual ability, okay, that he has to resort to being rude, obnoxious, belligerent, over-talking, being argumentative, because he's actually afraid. He said that his model of reality falsifies the God of the Bible, but he says he doesn't have a full understanding of reality. He also stated that any new fact could come along and could displace any other fact that he believes. Therefore, or consequently, there are no facts that he holds that are absolutely truth and could never be falsified by a new observation. Therefore, all he's simply saying is that some of the facts that he believes with are incompatible with the Christian worldview, but none of his facts are guaranteed. So all he's simply saying is that he holds to certain provisional beliefs that are not necessarily true, right? And that they cannot be false, right? Excuse me, that I should rephrase that. The provisional beliefs that he holds to, the provisional facts, that they could be falsified tomorrow, which means they're not necessarily true. So the beliefs that he holds to that are not necessarily true, which would be provisional, falsify the Christian worldview. But if something is provisional, then it's not necessarily true. So there it couldn't falsify the Christian worldview. And he knew what I was getting at, okay? His claim to be able to falsify the Christian worldview is a total human train wreck, because he basically conceded that all of his factual beliefs, okay, you're now server muted, sir, because you're not have your microphone muted. Now, because he conceded, and you all heard him say it, that a fact could appear tomorrow that could displace any other previous fact that he holds to, which means all of his beliefs are provisional in nature and are therefore not necessarily true. So he's taking certain beliefs that he thinks are true but are not necessarily true to falsify the God of the Bible. So what he holds to is not necessarily true, falsifies the God of the Bible. Does everybody see how psychotic that is? That a belief that he thinks is true, but that it possibly could be false, falsifies the God of the Bible. Anybody see how convoluted that is? And this is an atheist who's done lectures allegedly critiquing biblical presuppositionalism. Now, did anyone in this room, and I want honest feedback, and people are free to agree or disagree, did anybody think that this Floyd FP conducted himself competently? Anyone?
Well, you already know what I think. He obviously did.
He got utterly humiliated for the most part by his own ridiculous behavior. He literally pulled as a tactic being a belligerent teenager rather than to actually debate. He said his concept of reality falsifies the God of the Bible. But he admitted he doesn't have a full grasp about reality, and something new could appear tomorrow to displace all the other facts that he thinks he has a grasp upon reality. So what he's saying is, in a nutshell, is that because he believes some things that are not necessarily true, that his beliefs that are not necessarily true falsify the God of the Bible. But they could only falsify the God of the Bible if they were necessarily true. And this
it's like a kid.
And this is a guy, listen, I kid you not, this is an atheist who, and if you've listened to him on past occasions, this is a guy who has a hate fetish against Christianity. Now, I could use other colorful descriptions, which wouldn't be appropriate, but you can use your imagination. He has a hate fetish for Christianity. But when I proceeded to ask him questions to elucidate whether his capacity to falsify Christianity actually holds water, actually we see it's leaking like a sieve. It's got holes in it. So what was he going to left to do but simply to be argumentative and belligerent and nasty and rude? And then he calls me rude. Does anybody actually think I was rude to him? Did I bend over backwards trying to be patient with this obnoxious clown? Does anybody think I wasn't patient with him? So what you saw on full display is not only a typical YouTube and internet atheist, but somebody who is looked up to by numerous internet, YouTube, and Discord atheists who performed disastrously, okay, and incompetently.
I mean, the guy was acting like a total child. It was like watching, in his case, it was like watching two kids argue with one another, and then they say, no, you're this, and then they'll be like, no, you. Then they'll go back and forth saying, no, you, no, you. That's all he was doing. Like when you were pointing out his nonsense and his belligerence. I take
issue with your analogy because I was not bickering. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, I know you weren't. But I'm just saying is I was trying to get a line of questioning out to show how his position really isn't coherent. And so what he wants to do is he wants to be belligerent back and saying, oh, I'm answering your question. You answer this question. And by him machine gunning me with questions, he is diverting from defending his actual... Hold on, I got to get a drink of water. So what he was doing as a tactic, and this is what he's done before, he did it years ago, he hasn't changed an iota. What he does is he gives a response, but the response is not an answer that is specific and germane to the question at hand. And then when he realizes that he's getting cornered by his own position, he then machine guns back semi-related questions in order to derail his position from being exposed for what it is.